Good afternoon. Welcome to Cannabis and Conspiracies. I'm the conspiracy. He's the cannabis, and
I'm more than that. Come
well,
on.
he's a little more than that. A little more. Anyway, uh, so here we are today. We're talking about the Smithsonian Institute, the benign Smithsonian Institute, the America's Attic. And absolutely nothing shady going on with these guys.
Nah.
Or is there? Hmm. So, once again, we don't make any conclusions. We just bring up the facts and let you draw your own conclusions. So, that today, so Mr. Belmont, what do you think about the Smithsonian after all the research we've done?
I think basically it's being used to suppress history and to keep
Hmm.
the narrative how history they want us to think it is. And the reality of history is something different.
Hmm.
And by hiding all this stuff, it keeps everybody in the dark. It keeps everybody, not
Right?
worrying about anything. There's nothing to see here.
Absolutely nothing to see because it's disappeared. uh, you know, there's that famous scene at the end of Indiana Jones and the Temple and the last Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Yeah.
and where it's like, oh, don't worry about it. We have top people on it. It's like, oh, really? Who? Top people.
Oh yeah, I remember that clip. Yeah, and they show like a warehouse with like
Yeah,
a
gigantic
guy, a
warehouse.
giant ass warehouse with all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff in
artifacts. It's
there.
like miles and
Just
miles of it. It's like, how much are they suppressing, man?
it,
Uh,
it, it it's similar to the Vatican. You know what I mean? They just got a big, just God knows what they got in there. You know what I mean? It's very
mhm.
similar.
Yeah, we'll do the Vatican soon enough. We'll
Yeah.
eventually get there. Uh, but yeah, I think the most evidence that I was seeing in the research I was doing was there's a massive amount of evidence of like giants that like discover these bones. They'll take all sorts of pictures of them. They'll like display them in museums, and all of a sudden the Smithsonian will show up and say, "Hey, we'd like to research these, and here's a subpoena,
Yeah.
and we'll mail you our findings." And then these people will like follow up with them, say,
They
"Can
actually
we
give them
have
a
our bones
subpoena.
back?"
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, they're a governmental agency. I'm sure they can like you know coerce cooperation if they wanted to. Uh,
It's just that they don't have a lot of funding, and then when this big institute says, "Hey, we're interested in it. We'll take good care of it," and you just think
right,
you're giving it to good hands. You know what I mean?
right,
And they
right,
just
right, 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 right.
blindly give their giant to them, and then it gets hidden, put
Uh huh.
put somewhere. They said they only got like 1% of the stuff that they have on display. The
Yeah,
rest of it's hidden.
yeah. One guy I was watching said that an independent group did shall we say a adding up of the things that supposedly are in possession of the Smithsonian, and they found that about 10% of things that they gave them lists of was completely gone or missing or no one knew what happened to it. And uh and he says that's one museum, so they had like 10% of the items that they told them about. This is an
Oh yeah.
list that they gave them to do their audit, and they found 10% of that was missing. And so that's just one museum. There's 11 of them.
I don't
So
even think they even know what they got. They got so much shit that they probably ain't got time to even catalog it all. They just, throw the box, just like that movie, just throw it on top of the rest. You know what I mean? We'll
mhm,
get to it someday.
right, right,
They're just collecting it. They're just hoarding all the stuff that doesn't add up. All
hmm,
the history finds that don't make sense.
right.
what we were taught in our history books. If it doesn't fit that agenda, then it's hidden. Press.
Yeah, yeah. We had something similar happen to that near me. The archaeologist discovered that we had a Spanish fort, like right in my backyard, and the Spaniards were not supposed to be this far inland. Uh,
Uh-huh.
at as early as these artifacts were being found. So this it's called the Jora project, Jaora, and they're like discovering this, and it's like, wait a second. According to the official history, the Spaniards weren't this far inland that early, and it's like, well, wait a second, are we rewriting history here? And yet every finding that they've basically sent up the ladder has not made a dent, one dent at all. And it's like, well, this was supposed to be one of the most significant finds in recent archaeology, and they can't even seem to get their published papers. There seems to be a lid on their published papers that they're putting out, and so speculation. Why is that? Because that doesn't fit the official account. So that's just in my backyard. I mean, there's no telling.
So they have no interest in updating history or revising it or changing it or questioning it or any of that. They just collect it, store it, suppress it, and then act like they're not doing it and play dumb.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. And they've been doing this for over 100 years.
Yeah, definitely over 100 years. There's artifacts going back to the founding of the country that are supposedly in the Smithsonian, and people have like gone to like, hey, can I view this? And it's like, no, it's not available for viewing. Nah. And it's like, okay, well, why not? And they're like, well, we don't currently have it in our possession. And then they're like, yeah, okay, well, who does have it in their possession? It's like, it's just not available for viewing. And it says, but we know where it is, but it's not available for viewing.
Well, if our tax dollars are paying for all this stuff, we should be able to see whatever the hell they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a legislation in place that allows us to look at any document we want, Of course, they heavily redact the shit out of it before they send it to pages. You. Like there's a redaction recently that's like a list of the stuff they got from Trump's house, and when they got it, there's like 2 paragraphs out of the, like, I don't know, it's 20 some pages that you could actually read.
Yeah, worthless.
Yeah, it's like well, it's for national security, we redacted, or oh really? Okay, well, what was in Melania's boudoir that needed to be redacted?
Well, why they check Barron's room or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and oh, by the way, where are the missing items out of Melania's boudoir?
Oh, maybe she has some hard artifacts in her panty drawer.
Maybe. That's, I don't know. Woman that good looking, who knows what she's got laying around, right? Just speculating. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah. Do you have any like documents you want to show or any?
Yeah, I was gonna go into a little slide thing.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, it's just a website that I came across. Pretty much has a list of top things that they think that the Smithsonian has. So let's go into it.
Mm-hmm. So what they got locked in there? Let's find out.
Well, the first thing they got is supposedly got John Dillinger's dick.
Yeah, I heard about this one.
In a pickle jar.
Uh-huh.
of some sort.
Right.
How big was it that they had to save it?
I don't know.
Man,
Well, there's
I'm curious now.
Well, there's like the autopsy photo of him, and he's got this gigantic tent. Yeah,
I heard about that. I never seen it.
yeah. I saw the picture, and it's like his big tent down there.
It reminds me of Joe Dirt when what's his name, pretending to be dead.
Right.
What's his name there? Whatever, the gangster guy. What the hell? Christopher Hawken or Walken?
I've never seen Joe Dirt.
Oh, you didn't? The first one's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken is in it, and then he like supposed to be dead because the mafia wants. He's pretending to be dead, so the people that want to kill him.
Well, if I want to see Joe Dirt, I just go. I go to the family reunion.
Just go next door.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Wuffler?
Hey, what's up, dude? Hell.
I don't know, but it must be one big, you know what, if it's going to be, placed in a jar and kept for safekeeping. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. They said it was kept on J. Edgar Hoover's desk for a while. He spent so much resources trying to capture John Dillinger that when he finally got him, it's like, it's like his trophy he kept on his desk or something.
Yeah, it's a good conversational piece. What's that in that jar right there? It looks kind of like a dick. Is that what that is? Oh, yeah. That's John Dillinger. I caught him.
Well, that sounds like J. Edgar Hoover's style. It's like people that cross me. You see that over there?
You want your dick in a jar? Keep fucking around.
Yeah. F around and find out. You'll find out. George Washington's missing bed. Yeah. But in this case, they say they know exactly where it is. It's the Mount Vernon, his Mount Vernon bedroom. But that could indeed be a replica because they said that there's in their archive records there are like pieces of the bed missing from their archives, but they say, oh, it's over here in Mount Vernon.
It's probably at some like Smithsonian's employee's house. Just
I don't know.
On it.
Well, there's been speculation that when you look at how George Washington died, it looks a little bit like arsenic poisoning. So if you were to check that today, you could discover if he actually had arsenic poisoning, because arsenic is it's a metal, and so it would still be there'd still be record of it. I mean, they discovered that Napoleon was arsenic poisoned years and years ago by checking hair follicles and things. But if they had access to this bed, the bed that he died in, then they could determine if the father of our country died of arsenic poisoning, because his health was like declining for a long time, and they're doing these bleedings. You ever hear about this practice?
Would he like bleed you to try to like get out the illness by bleeding it out?
Yeah. They kept bleeding him or whatever to try to like. But he just kept going downhill, and so if you wanted to like take control of the country that early on, murdering the president would not be a bad move, So it's like if that's when they seize control of the government, that would be the record for that would be in his bed.
Now they're saying he's racist or whatever, and fuck the founding fathers and all that stuff. Oh yeah.
Oh please, whatever.
What else they got?
Yeah.
Disposable.
Steam engine lost in the Titanic disaster. Oh, okay.
I don't even give a shit if they have that.
Well, they say that they don't have anything from the Titanic wreck displayed at the Smithsonian because it's poor taste. But there's a lot of things missing from the Titanic that were reacquired from the Titanic wreck that have just gone poof.
Poor
And
taste that happened so long ago. Who cares? Why not?
well, there's a lot of things on that ship that people are like, that like the guy who was the main linchpin against the Federal Reserve went down on the Titanic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, John Jacob Astor. He was the main person preventing from the Federal Reserve from happening.
Oh.
And he went down on Titanic, and there's like multiple things like that the things around that wreck that is suspicious. The iceberg wasn't what actually caused it to sink.
That's a conspiracy.
There you go. That's what we're doing here. Yeah. Look,
out here we have the Molly Brown house. And she was one of like the richest people.
Molly Brown,
yeah, and she was on the Titanic, and I believe she didn't die because she was one of the first people to get on one of those boats, rescue boats or whatever. And they turned her house into a museum over here. I've been to it. It's kind of boring. It's downtown. But at one time she donated like gold, and this gold was used in the Capitol on the ceiling to make the dome part of the ceiling on the Capitol in Denver. But God knows how much money she had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and why did she have that amount of money? What did she know?
Oh, I heard about this a long time ago. I forgot all about it. They supposedly got JFK's brain in a jar.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Well, pieces of his brain. I think some of it, got blown away or whatever, so it's not fully intact. But
supposedly some of it was like recovered by the First Lady herself from the front seats, and she like tried to put it back together. So tell me the guy built the brand new bulkhead system did not account for the overflow from water from an iceberg. No, I don't buy it. All right, I hear you.
It still pisses me off that you threw the diamond of what is it, the something on the ocean? The heart
of the ocean.
Yeah, into the water. That still pisses me off. Waste
of a perfectly good diamond. Why did you do that? Belmont's not one for sentimentality. He's like, you know how much that shit was worth?
Yeah, man, I could have funded a lot of comic books with that diamond, man.
Yeah, you crazy dingbat old lady.
Oh, now he's trying to get us banned from YouTube now.
Yeah, there we go. Here we go.
Well, it doesn't add up when they haven't released all the information, and it's been how many years? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That report still got like sealed. The Warren Commission. That thing's still sealed. Me too. That was not a good socialist thing to do. Rose was a racist.
Well, he was killed not too long after he did his like secret society speech.
Right.
They discussed that, and there was rumor that he was going to, tell everybody what he knew about UFOs, and expose the secret societies and all that stuff and shadow government or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, all right, we can't be having any of that.
Well, his assassination didn't bother me as much as Bobby's assassination, because Bobby's couldn't have happened the way that they say it happened. It absolutely could not have happened that way. It was just impossible.
Wait, was he the one killed by Sirhan?
Yeah, Sirhan. Yeah, who to the day he died swore that he was like basically given a gun and told to walk into the room. And
wasn't he killed by Ruby?
No, you're thinking of Oswald.
Oh,
that's the one assassinated.
I just remember there was one person killed another one, because it was like nuts.
Yeah,
did
around
he just walk up
time,
to him and just gun him down, right?
Around the same era, Martin Luther King, JFK, and RFK got assassinated.
Yeah,
like in the matter of just less than a year.
CIA was busy.
They were very busy, yeah. But I'm just wondering. I mean, it's like MLK. I listened to something last night talking about how he was not even the most popular black speaker at that time. Then suddenly he's like all the only one they'll talk to, the only one that they'll put a mic in front of, and he was like the only one that like was a pastor and could speak in that kind of like a preacher kind of like Matt Cadence. And at that time, most of society in America was Protestant, so he was the one that they're going to listen to. So that's who they chose. But when you look at the rest of the civil rights leaders, all of them were communists. Every damn one of them was communist.
Damn commies.
Damn commies. Yeah. So Ghost might be found Smithsonian. Yep. Yep.
I assume, if there's all kinds of ancient stuff back there, there's probably some ghosts lingering.
Yeah, it's odd to me that the only like main building from Smithsonian that you can view from the outside that they don't allow visitors into is that castle. That's always mystified me.
Where's that? Where's that one?
It's on the mall. It's the Washington Mall.
Oh.
Yeah, it's right there on the freaking Washington Mall, and they won't let you go in and look inside of it.
Who knows what they got? They probably got like Noah's Ark back there or something.
I don't know what, but it's right there on the freaking mall. I've been, when I visited Washington, man, it's like, hey, there's the Smithsonian Castle, and I'm like, hey, do they do tours? No, absolutely not. They do not do tours. We're going to visit the museums that they'll allow us to go into, like the Museum of Natural History and Aeronautics, but they will not let you go into that damn building.
We're paying for it, but we can't go see it.
Exactly. I mean, it's right out there in the open. It's a freaking castle in the middle of Washington, D.C., right on the damn mall. There's like the Vietnam Memorial right there. There's Lincoln Memorial. There's a freaking Washington Monument, which happens to be an Egyptian obelisk. Why the hell do we have an obelisk in our capital? Question. Anyway, but then right there on the damn mall, that big old lawn, America's lawn, right there where the I Have a Dream speech happened and all this other stuff, is a freaking castle. Freaking castle. And we're not allowed to go into it. Not suspicious at all. No, at all. Yep. We don't say that word here. We don't say that word. Zach. Anyway, Smithsonian has a storage facility to protect meteorites from contamination. Really? From contamination? Is that what they're protecting them from?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Oh, yeah. There's the Hope Diamond right there.
Yeah. I saw it. I actually saw it.
You've seen it?
Yeah, it's in the Museum of Natural History. It's through these like panes of glass, and it's like set back. But yeah, it's on display.
Just rush in there with a hammer and run.
Oh no! You're not gonna get through that. You're not gonna get through that. Trust me. And when I saw it was like late 80s, early 90s, and you weren't gonna get through that. No, not then. Not now. But this thing is about the size of a softball, man.
Is it?
Yeah, it's huge.
Look at that.
It's actually poorly cut. They had to go back and recut it because it's cut down from the Star of India, which is the biggest blue diamond ever existed, and some of that the Star of India, the shards of it are in the British crown jewels, and but when they went to make the Hope Diamond, they basically did a poor job of cutting it. And so a few years ago, they went back in, took the Hope Diamond out of its its shell and recut it
I didn't know
properly. That. Yeah. They now they have lasers. They were like shaved like millimeters of it off. I mean millimeters, but they cut it properly and to the shape it should have been in to start with. But this right here, this is the old Hope Diamond before they renovated it.
It does look off, like it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's a really poor job. It's a really poor job. It's a butcher job, basically, is what it was. But because it's a big freaking blue diamond, everybody was like, "Hey, it doesn't matter. It's valuable."
They don't give a shit.
Right.
Look at how big it is.
But they decided to go and do a cut on it. The dummies.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna play this.
1, 2, 1, 2. Larry, this simple exercise can help you stay healthy, which keeps medical costs down.
But you got to do it every day, Vince. Or you'll get out of shape fast.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Wow, they in the Smithsonian.
I guess like one of the heads or something ended up in the Smithsonian or something. I didn't know the guy, one of the Vince and the other one of the guys did was the voice of Garfield.
Yeah, I recognize his voice. I was wondering where I heard that from.
Yeah, one of them.
Whoever this is, I bet there's cubic zirconia. No, it's an actual diamond. Whatever. Crash test dummies cannot be made today. It would cause outrage and be banned because of the ableism. Oh, okay. I got you.
And there was a band called the Crash Test Dummies, remember?
Yeah.
Once there was a kid who got into an accident. Yeah, so this was a very popular, campaign to get people to buckle up in the late 80s. And supposedly that stuff ended up with it, and they say, "Well, we don't have that shit."
This has to be Greg Levitra over here. I swear it has to be. Nonstop comments over here.
Yeah, once there was a kid. I think there was the one-hit wonder, and then
yeah,
I don't even know if it was a hit, but everybody knows the song.
Yeah, Weird Al did a version called Headline News. Yeah, that's even funnier. It's I prefer that one.
I like the. I don't know if you've seen that movie called Spy Hard. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's what's his name there? The guy from Naked Gun, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen, yeah.
Yeah, and in the beginning, it's got Weird Al does the opening theme.
Ah,
it is fucking hilarious. It's like a spoof on 007.
Oh right, yeah, those big bloated Bond film.
Yeah, Spy Hard theme song. It's kind of like the Octopussy or whatever theme or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was a good one.
Yeah,
the model of Lincoln's patented device is what?
Oh yeah. Lincoln actually he designed a device that would basically take barges and lift them over a sandbar, and they didn't have the technology to create it, but engineers have looked at it now and said, with the technology we have now, this would work. So that's how smart the man was.
He was tall too.
Yeah. He supposedly had Marfan syndrome, which causes people to like grow to large sizes. And they usually have big ears, usually have high foreheads, and it's very distinctive. And people think people are pretty sure he had it, definitely.
Well, he's also known for having that famous experience where he said he saw himself doppelganger.
Oh, right. Well, he actually called his death multiple times. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of knew he ran afoul of somebody because he was like making statements and making plans for after his demise, and so he went to Ford's Theater that night. He basically had like he like settled a lot of things for his successor to come in. So a lot of people think he knew he was going to get assassinated.
And I think there was a conspiracy about his body too. After he was killed, they tried to steal it, and then it was put back, then it was stolen again or something. It was like a big old thing.
Yeah. And John Wilkes Booth was murdered before he could talk. That the actual they said they wanted him alive so he could testify, because they wanted people further up the chain, the people who were behind him, and they murdered the shit out of him. It's on site. I mean, they murdered the shit out of him on site. So it is what it is.
They probably just hung him in the street.
Shadowhawk Docs, what's up, man? Hell, Belmont Bunny and Wolfie Era. What's up, dude?
What's up, Shadowhawk?
So yeah, it actually worked. That sucker actually worked. So I mean, how smart was that guy? I mean, seriously, how smart was he? Just a hillbilly, though, you know. Missiles guided by pigeons along for the ride might have worked. Yeah. That there was a attempt to train pigeons to basically home in on like a long distance targets. With basically put them in the cone of a long distance missile and use them to hone in on the target.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've heard about it before. I think that's what North Korea just used the other day.
Yeah, except their pigeons are retarded. They're retarded.
He's got to get one of Mike Tyson's pigeons.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, Mike Tyson has a lot of homing pigeons. That was his thing. That was the thing he did when he was a kid. You know, the reason why he became a fighter is because people used to bully him about his birds. But,
the original Birdman.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but yeah, this was actually a thing. It was an actual thing. I think that's it right there.
That's it.
Looks like
you can get shoes on sale.
Oh wow, awesome.
Nah.
I could always use new boat shoes.
I got a pair of boat shoes. I've never used them.
Yeah. Howdy ho, Hojo. What's up, dude? Well, I don't know. I'll have to say there's been a side effect to being on this show, in that I mean, yeah, I had my misgivings about the government before, but now I'm just like, I don't trust anything. I don't trust anything going all the way freaking back, you know.
Safe and effective, Bunny.
I know. You guys have turned me into a raving lunatic, man. Now every time I see a news report, I'm like, bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit, you know. But now I'm on history books. I'm a history buff, man. I got books of shelves and shelves of history books over there, and now I'm like, yeah, might as well use them for the prop a door open for all the good they're going to do me. Hojo says that's a good attitude to have. Well, you would, man. You used to be part of it, you know.
You notice that as we talk about the government, Hojo already knows and appears.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Yeah. I don't know what that man was into, but he seems to know a lot, man. Bella sounds like he's normal, sedated this week, business as usual. No, he's pretty on it today.
I only took about 3 hits maybe before the show started.
Yeah. He's actually right in the pocket. He's doing good. He's doing good. If he goes over it, then I'm carrying everything. So he's actually holding up his end.
I smoked a modest amount.
Yeah. A modest amount.
Modest.
You know, he has to be the cannabis and the conspiracy. So.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just conspiracies. That's not fun.
That's not fun at all. No. See that little leaf down there? We got to have that, man. That's part of our brand. It's part of the brand. Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. You see all these back when press used to be at the actual press upon occasion, and it's like these reporters like had all these like notebooks and notebooks and notebooks, and they had like like all across the United States before all the papers got consolidated underneath one or two umbrellas. And there's like front page news, front page news, front page news. It's like, oh yeah, they discovered a 11-foot tall skeleton with and it's like, oh, it's on display. Here's a picture. Here's like a perspective, and the sucker is like gigantic. And it's like, where's it now? Smithsonian came and got it.
Yeah, you'll never see it again.
No, it's gone. It's gone. Nothing wrong with having a good baseline. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, it just yeah, I was going down this rabbit hole. It's like all these things up, and it's like and we're not talking about one person saw it and then said, oh, the Smithsonian kind of got it. We're talking about teams of people, massive undertakings, people that help load the trucks. And then it's like, where's it at?
Where did it go?
Poof. I mean, that thing that they took out of like the Grand Canyon, and they've roped off.
Oh,
that part
yeah,
of the Grand Canyon.
that big cave. Supposedly there was, and there was a labyrinth inside, and there was all these artifacts, and supposedly like over 100 truckloads of materials were hauled out of there, and that's not an easy place to get stuff out of. No.
And then it's like one guy over it, and then when they went to like say, okay, well, can I talk to so and so at the when they called the Smithsonian, wanting to know what happened, why is stuff on display? Why haven't we heard of anything? And they're like, that guy doesn't work here. It's like, that guy was over like 100 trucks going out of here, and you're saying he doesn't exist? What? Oh, okay. Especially about history, but I had no idea any of this was even a thing as far as you guys are talking about now. I go to Smithsonian at least once a year. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, welcome. Come down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Welcome to Cannabis and Conspiracies, man. The truth is high. Anyway. You imagine living in the days when giants, dragons, or dinosaurs still roamed the earth? Who knows? We may have.
There's even proof that, dinosaurs were around when humans were. There's footprints found near each other. Human footprints and dinosaur tracks.
Okay, this is this theory that I've heard from Christian historians for years. That tracks of man have been found in the same bedrock as tracks of dinosaurs, which would prove creation. The creationist version of it, or the intelligence design. That's all they allow you to say now. But and they're talking about, it's thousands or millions and millions of years. It's a crustaceans age or the Jurassic period or whatever. And but it's like all these things. There's giants in the Bible. There's there's the Leviathan in the Bible. There's multiple things in the Bible that and it's like they also talk about how things are huge in some of these historical document or record, or the geological record. Like a dragonfly used to have like 8-foot wide wings or something, and now they're like this big, But yeah,
I just seen them the other day. They're around my house at this time of year. Right.
But what, according to like the creationist, historians, that that they always talk about this cataclysmic event that wiped out the dinosaurs and wiped out this, wiped out that, and every single cultural has a concept of a massive flood. Okay, every single one of them, and so they're like saying, okay, before the flood in biblical record, people were living to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. After the flood, you see it like shrinking down to like the next generation after the flood lived half the length of the previous generation. And And what's the thing that they say prevents humankind from living longer than they do? The main thing is UV radiation. And so, if there was a firmament, according to Genesis, the firmament between the mankind and the sun, uh, like a layer of moisture in the atmosphere of the earth, what that would do is create a greenhouse effect for the earth. Everything would grow bigger. There'd be, without sun damage, most things would thrive and get larger, and mankind would live longer. And then, and what happened with the flood is all that moisture went onto the earth, fell onto the earth, and it took out that extra layer of protection. And we've been dying earlier ever since, you know. And you look at historical records, you look at documents and things like that, and what they're covering up, then it would make a lot of sense that what they're basically covering up is the biblical Genesis, account.
And all this food that we're eating, it's got all that preservatives and all that shit, and it's causing, health problems and early deaths.
Right.
And
oh yeah. You see these like Hollywood people who could eat, raw things, natural things, and don't have to go to a store with a budget. And you see how good shape they are in. And then you see people that have to live off of a budget and eat processed stuff. And it's, there
people
you have
living
it,
off ramen.
Yeah, living off ramen and things like that.
Man, the smell of that makes me sick. I don't know. Some people loved it, but I cannot even handle the smell of it.
My basement dwelling stepbrother loves it, He'll like a big old bowl, and he'll like just throw in packets and packets.
I'd rather eat like a cheap burrito at the grocery store than that.
No, well, I hear you.
Macaroni and cheese or something.
Yeah, I'm serious. Mac and cheese. Yeah, that's the breakfast of champions right there.
Buck something a box.
Right. 900 years old. You look as good as you will not. Yep. But yeah, and one of the speculations has been with what they're actually covering up is the fact that the theory of evolution is bunk, and that the Earth hasn't been here around that long. According to the intelligence design people or the creationists, the Earth's only been a few thousand years old. And yeah, and so I don't know. Everything that they're eliminating, everything that they're taking out, appears to be things that contradict the theory of evolution, which is still called a theory, by the way.
Oh yeah,
there's never been any missing links discovered. It's still called a theory. Yeah, so. But that would explain some of the things that they're taking out, all right, what else you got there, man? You got something queued up?
Yeah, I found this band documentary about the Smithsonian.
Oh yeah, the one that the guy's channel got ganked, and somebody re-uploaded it. Yeah,
you've probably seen some of it.
What if everything we know about humanity's history is false? There are numerous accounts of artifacts being confiscated by or sent to the Smithsonian, never to be seen again. Is the Smithsonian Institute covering up America's real history?
Hundreds of the reports, literally hundreds of the reports, ends by saying the bones have been taken away by the Smithsonian for further investigation, and they never get heard of again.
Of the millions of pieces the museum owns, only a small fraction are actually displayed. Forget what they want you to see. What is the Smithsonian hiding? Are ancient Egyptian artifacts removed from the Grand Canyon, hidden in a Smithsonian warehouse?
According to reports, the contents of the cave are sent to Washington, but they mysteriously vanish from the historical record.
From stories of giant skeletons to ancient Egyptian artifacts, what is the Smithsonian hiding? At the end of the Indiana Jones film, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the legendary Ark of the Covenant, which has been obtained at great cost, is seen being pushed into some government warehouse, never to be seen again. But could such a secret warehouse, filled with hidden treasures and artifacts, really exist? Many researchers insist it does, and believe the Smithsonian Institute is deliberately hiding clues about humanity's true history. It's been called the nation's attic. The Smithsonian Institute warehouses some 150 million items collected over 200 years. Its 19 museums receive nearly 30 million visitors a year. At the time of the Smithsonian's founding, most of the continent had not been archaeologically explored. The powers that be knew that in order to maintain their version of history, they would need a repository for all the artifacts that do not fit their narrative. Could the true purpose of the Smithsonian be to cover up America's real history and replace it with the version the elite want us to believe? Many researchers believe so and point to numerous newspaper articles claiming incredible finds were taken by the Smithsonian, never to be seen again. Stuff like Egyptian artifacts and giant bones. One such article appeared in the Phoenix Gazette back in 1909 that still sparks fascination and curiosity to this day. It told of two explorers from the Smithsonian who stumbled on a mysterious cave in the Grand Canyon, a discovery that would be the link between an ancient world and ours. Inside the cave, according to the article, they found a dugout maze of geometrically perfect tunnels filled with ancient Egyptian artifacts, including mummies. But how could such an incredible discovery go unnoticed for so long? And why haven't more people heard of it? That's because the two explorers who found it were working for the Smithsonian, and the whole thing was swiftly covered up. The fantastic artifacts and mummies presumably removed.
According to the Gazette, the Smithsonian Institution sent out an archaeologist whose name was Jordan. And Jordan and Kincaid then began exploring these caves.
There are stories and rumors that an expedition was mounted after the discovery, and in one version, 109 truckloads of artifacts were actually removed with very great difficulty from the cavern system.
According to reports, the contents of the cave are sent to Washington, but they mysteriously vanish from the historical record.
It was a front page newspaper story in the 1909 Phoenix Gazette. What they reported was that the Smithsonian Institution was doing excavations in the Grand Canyon. It was being supervised by an archaeologist named Jordan. It all had to do with another explorer named Kincaid, who had been traveling down the Grand Canyon. And what he claimed he discovered was these caverns. Inside these caverns were, he thought, and the Smithsonian then later confirmed, according to the newspaper report, that there were Egyptian artifacts, there were Hindu, Buddhist artifacts from India. They were saying that, there were mummies in there, and that apparently they had a special vault in the Grand Canyon where they buried some of the leaders, the people they had left behind with artifacts and things like that, and that the Smithsonian Institution got involved. They were hauling all this stuff out of these caves, including these mummies, swords, shields, statues. The Jordan, the archaeologist, he was going back to Washington, D.C., back to the Smithsonian. And, this is these exciting new discoveries in the Grand Canyon.
What do you think they have there, man?
Oh, no. I don't know. But they say there's parts of Grand Canyon that no one's allowed to go into. I didn't know that. But
yeah, I'm not too far from the Grand Canyon, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours or something like that. Maybe.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things about these conspiracies. I mean, There's just if there's nothing to it, then why there's just so much smoke, you know? I mean, a lot of these things is like pages after pages. Grand Canyon's full of uranium mines. Oh, that's why we're not allowed in there. Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. Well, interesting thing about uranium is that it actually is a very low yield radioactive substance. It's not. You can be around uranium a while and not have any adverse effects on you. It's when it gets enriched is when it's dangerous. So, yeah, that's one of them things, man. You know, you just see this over and over again, and it's like people in the archaeology. As soon as they hear that the Smithsonian came and took it, they're like, okay, well, all right, dead end.
See you later.
Know? Yeah, party's over. No more exploration. You know, I didn't know that the Smithsonian had this like negative like reputation among archaeology circles. You know, that it's just basically like, Smithsonian, game over. It's all over.
It sounds like the Grand Canyon was some kind of warehouse for like ancient civilizations to put like their important stuff.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Similar to the Smithsonian, actually, like an ancient Smithsonian.
Right. It's an ancient Smithsonian. Right. Yeah, that Warehouse 13 premise is starting to look even more interesting right now. It's saying its natural form, it's powder substance in many colors, and a lot of miners that used to mine it and held a lot of uranium dust. Yeah. It's interesting. And you know, those uranium does have a very negative like a reputation, but essentially, unless it's enriched, it's very low rad count. You know, very low. But yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, it is a governmental organization, and you know, seems like anything connected to the U.S. government is not exactly 100% on the up and up. Never has been.
A lot of gatekeeping.
Yeah. That house was it the Book of Secrets, the second National Treasure. I wonder how close to home that hit, because that movie never got made. That was a runaway hit, and then the third movie never got greenlit.
Really, I never watched the first one. It didn't really appeal to me.
Oh, I watched both the first and the second one in the theater, and they were good movies. I mean, they were the typical, you know, kind of Michael Bay thing. But I mean, you had Nicolas Cage pretty much still in his prime, and you had this awesome premise, and then the Book of Shadows was like the president was like, "Oh, I need to talk to you about something" at the end of that movie, and the third one in the series never eventuated, and it's always been a mystery to me. And then suddenly I hear they're coming up with a new National Treasure, and you know, of course they gender and race swap the lead. It's not gonna have anything to do with the old one. So, but I'm like, what in the world? It was Turtle Top. It wasn't Bay. It's Turtle Top. So I'm like, what the hell did they stumble onto when they were making that movie that it never got greenlit? Because it had a name actor, famous role, had a great cast, and you know, had a great premise, and then poof, never got greenlit for another one.
I think Nicolas Cage was too busy doing Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland.
Have you seen that?
No.
These two movies he did recently. He did Willy's Wonderland, and right after that, I think he did The Pig.
Okay.
Willy's Wonderland is kind of like he needs a job or something, and he gets a job like watching over this this place called Willy's Wonderland, which is like it's basically like a Chuck E. Cheese. And then all these mascots or whatever inside this Willy's start coming to life, and he like takes them on one by one, like each level, like a video game kind of, and he kills each one. It's ridiculous. I don't know if you've seen it, but he basically goes after like every Chuck E. Cheese character, like kind of like the mascots or whatever. They one after another come alive and go after him.
Well, I remember the Banana Splits movie came out, and that was crazy because it was a horror movie.
Banana Splits?
Yeah, it was like it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon about this fictitious band with their like a monkey.
Oh,
like
it's old, right? Because they just had a reunion in Colorado Springs like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it's
anniversary or something.
but they did a movie just like a couple years ago, and the movie was like animatronic versions of them come to life and start killing people.
Yeah, that's what they were. They were animatronic robots, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
it was a ripoff of Chuck E. Cheese, but they all come to life, and then Nicolas Cage fights them off one by one.
Okay.
Inside Willie's place.
Well, Nicolas Cage has not been a must-watch for me for quite a long time. So
I did enjoy that movie. He did the Birdie, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that one?
No, I hadn't seen that one. No.
Oh.
There's so many of them. He comes out like 6 movies a year or something.
Something like that.
Well, he burned through all his money and went like in other people's money, and then suddenly he's like having to do like 6 movies a year. He can't be. He can't
After he does a movie, he goes to Vegas and blows it all, and then has to do another one.
Yeah. Well, he had a comic book collection from hell.
Oh yeah, someone stole his $1 million comic book. I heard his mansion at one time.
He had Action Comics 1.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had Action Comics 1, man.
Yeah, I heard he was into comic books, and I think that's why they asked him.
Well, he named his son Kal-El. I would kind of hope.
I didn't care for the second Ghost Rider, but I liked the first one.
Yeah. Well, he was going to be Superman, and Tim
Burton. Yeah, I saw that footage of him doing a test with the Superman outfit. He looked horrible as Superman. Absolutely horrible.
The thing about it is, though, is that movie was like a brand new LED technology, and every time he put it on, it was like hot as hell, and it burned him every time. But he was so committed to the movie, he like put up with it. So, because remember, it's like a clear plastic, like with LEDs in it, and it was supposed to be like his suit after when he was being revived, and he wore it everywhere to try to drum up money for this movie, and it burned him every time. And he put up with it because he wanted this movie made so bad. So
not my Superman.
It's Superman Forever, I think, and it's like a documentary on it. But it was going to be batshit crazy. It's going to be totally batshit crazy. But it is what it is. I don't know. That could be a conspiracy for some time, one of these days. What killed Batman Forever? Or Superman, whatever. I don't know the name of it right off the top of my head. Anyway, so glad that movie never got made, Hojo. Right. But it would have been awesome for the kitsch value, man. I mean, Tim Burton did a Superman movie with Nick Cage. I mean, come on, it boggles the mind.
Tim Burton, man, he's been either hit or miss. He's been having a lot of misses lately.
Yeah. Well, I think he broke up with Helena Bonham Carter, and she kind of made up for everything he lacked.
I didn't like Sleepy Hollow. But
Sleepy Hollow was a badass movie, man.
Both the Batman's movies he did were genius.
Yeah, they were good. They were definitely good. Big Fish was probably my favorite movie he's made.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, Superman Lives. That was the title. Yeah, you're right. Superman Lives. That was it. It's supposed to be about the death and resurrection of Superman. So anyway, so what do we want to go through next time? But Belmont, you got any ideas?
I was thinking maybe Bible code.
Bible code. All right.
Yeah, that's a really interesting subject.
All right, cool.
Have
deal.
You heard about it?
Deal. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never really looked into it. But yeah, Yeah,
that's why we do this show, so we can go deeper down the rabbit hole.
Well, every time I go down the rabbit hole, man, I start like thinking people are following me.
Like what's his name there? Bob Lazar.
Yeah, Bob Lazar. Right. Yeah.
Just get Craig to walk around with you with a submachine gun. Everywhere you go.
Charlie the Chocolate Factory is fucking weird. Depp turned into Willy Wonka into Michael Jackson.
Man, that was the creepiest.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that movie is disturbing.
He looked like Michael Jackson or something. He was very creepy in that.
Yeah, I don't know who he was basing it on, but it had definitely had some Michael Jackson undertones there. Yep, as it was creepy. Oddly enough, it was closer to the original book than Willy Wonka was. So that's ironic, but yeah, that's how twisted those original books were. Anyway,
it was a flop, I guess, in the box office.
No, it was pretty successful in the box office. It just wasn't as big as they hoped it would be.
It was not like a blockbuster, but now it's considered a classic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not by me, but for some people.
People are still talking.
Are you talking about Willy Wonka? Yeah, Willy Wonka was a flop. Yeah,
I'm talking about Willy Wonka, but people are still talking about Grandpa Joe. All of a sudden, springs out of bed after the golden ticket is found.
Grandpa Joe was the shyster, man. He was a shyster.
I can walk. I can go. Look at.
Yeah, I wish I could help you, but I can't help you. Hey, golden ticket. Hey,
look at that.
You asshole.
You got a +1 there, Willie.
Yeah, exactly. Hojo actually enjoyed Dark Shadows. Wow, that's a big ask for me. I watched it and I was like, oh my god.
I don't know what that is. What is Dark Shadows?
Dark Shadows was an old like a supernatural based soap opera from the 70s, and he like made a movie out of it. Yeah. If you were in it, make a Smokes the Fox movie, would you CGI or practical effects?
Probably have to be CGI. Otherwise, they'd be saying it's a furry movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be a hybrid. You could do a hybrid of it.
Get puppets like Star Wars original.
Right. Hey, make it like Howard the Duck.
Yeah. That was a classic.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that has been Cannabis and Conspiracies today. Next week, come back, same Cannabis time, same Conspiracy channel. We will be doing Bible Code. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1998. 90 did it right. Yeah, pretty much. Those were practical suits. Anyway, so that's been Cooper. I've been the conspiracy part. He's been the Cannabis. And remember, we are not making any conclusions. We are just giving you the information. You can make your own conclusions. And remember, on Cannabis and Conspiracies, the truth is high. So y'all have a nice day.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
When I was in England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it, and didn't inhale, and never tried it again.